Hello friends, welcome to lesson 7. In this lesson we are going to look at compound interest. Remember, we are still looking at business arithmetic. Today we are going to be talking about compound interest. In the previous lesson we talked about simple interest, and we said for simple interest the principal remains the same throughout that period that the money is borrowed or the money is deposited in the bank. So that case the principal remains the same. But here with the compound interest, it's not the same case. Here the principal keeps on changing. So this is a situation whereby the interest is obtained, that interest which has been obtained is added onto the principal, and the new amount, that is to say the principal plus the interest, is used to calculate the interest for the following years. For example, if the principal is 500,000 and the interest for the first year or the first month is, let me say, 100,000 shillings, then the amount, that is the annual amount, is going to be 500,000 shillings plus the 100,000 shillings, which is 600,000 shillings. So it means that for the subsequent year, we are not going to use the principal of 500,000, but we are now going to use the principal of 600,000. So you find that the principal keeps on changing for the subsequent years or for the following periods. Now, this is repeated at equal intervals of the above period. If it is 1 year, then it's going to be 1 year, 1 year, 1 year, next like that. Or it can be, if it is months, then 1 month, then you calculate for the new principal, then you calculate for 1 month for the new principal, like that. So it is subsequent, as we are going to be seeing in the examples. Now let us look at these examples. Example 1, we have B and P and the company deposited 980,000 shillings with for 2 years. If the bank offers an interest of 8% per annum and allows for interest to be added to the principal so that it also earns interest, find the interest earned after 2 years. Find also the total amount after the second year. Now here you can see that this person allows the interest to be added to the principal. So that means that we shall have a new principal now. That means that there will be now a new principal. So this is compound interest. So here we shall be dealing with, it's like we are dealing with compound interest. So that we keep on adding. The new amount is got to calculate the new interest and so on. Now let's see, first of all, we want to see how much interest he earned after 2 years. Let's see the interest. Now let's first look at the interest for the first year. First get the interest for the first year. Now for the interest for the first year, we know that the time we can use for, since we are considering interest for the first year, we can just use the formula interest is equal to P times R times T divided by 100. But remember, R is rate is out of 100. So sometimes you may find that the formula may neglect the 100, and I just have I is equal to P times R over 100. So that R is out of 100. So let us first get that is interest is equal to P times R divided by T. That means that here the rate is out of 100, which is going to be 8 divided by 100. If I put out of 100, then I just put 8 for the R. So this should not confuse you. It is the same formula that we used last time, just that here I'm considering the rate to be out of 100, so that I put R as 8 over 100. So that should not confuse you. But we know that the principal in this case is 980,000 shillings. The rate is 8%, and the time we are considering the first year, and that is 1 year. So we need to get the interest for that specific year, and that if we substitute, we are going to have an interest of 78,400 shillings. So that's going to be the interest for that first year. Now we are going to again get the interest for the second year, but remember now for the second year we are going to get the new principal, and that new principal is, or the new amount is going to be the principal plus the interest, and that new amount becomes the new principal. So that's going to be 980,000 shillings plus the 78,400. When we add that, we shall get 1,058,400 shillings. So that's going to be the new amount, which is the same as the new principal. That's going to be the new principal. So if we are now calculating the interest for the second year, then we are going to be using this principal of 1,058,400 shillings. So now let's go ahead and get the. So we have already known that the new principal is going to be that. Now let us go ahead and get the interest for that second year. Still, we are going to use I is equal to P times R times T, or I is equal to P times R times T divided by 100. In this case, if you have used this, it means that the rate is out of 100, which is 8%. So it is already out of 100. So when we substitute, we shall have our new interest as 84,672 shillings. So that is the new interest. That is the interest for that specific year, the second year. So it means that the total interest for the 2 years is going to be the interest for the first year and plus the interest for the second year. So we shall be getting the interest for the first year plus the interest of the second year, which will give us 163,072 shillings. So that is going to be the interest earned in 2 years. Yeah. Now, the other question also wanted us to find the total amount after the second year. What amount of money this person has or gets after the second year. Now here, first of all, at the end of the 2 years, we know that the amount will be, we shall look at the principal. That new principal, this new principal that we have got already. Remember, this is the amount of money that you will be having after the first year. That is the new amount is 1,058,400. That is the new amount after the first year. So after the second year, you will be having this plus the interest in that second year. So it will be, so it means that the new amount is going to be given by adding the amount after the first year, that is the new amount after the first year, plus the interest in the second year. And when we add that, because remember, this is the amount after the first year, this is the interest in the second year, so the amount after the 2 years is going to be given as 1,143,072 shillings. So that's how you can work out that amount. Now, somebody will ask, isn't there a formula we can use to calculate compound interest? The answer is yes, it is there. But at this stage, that formula becomes advanced. And so in this stage, we shall not use that formula because it is advanced. And it will be covered in the next stage. That is, if you look at business mathematics, well, then we shall be looking at that formula because it involves indices, which is more advanced. So we shall take that in another level. That's when we shall have that formula. So for now, we shall do it step by step. You calculate for each year like that, the way I've done. Let's look at the second example to understand this better. Example 2, Lowry borrowed 180,000 shillings from a microfinance at 2% per annum, per month, with the option that interest unpaid would be added to the principal to obtain the new amount. That means that interest that you get, you add it with the principal and you get the new amount for every successive month. How much would she pay after 6 months if she pays all the amount once. So it means that this is now going to be, we are going to be getting, it is dealing with compound interest. So we shall have to calculate the new amount after every month, until we complete the 6 months. Now, let's see how to do this. First of all, we know that interest is given by P times R times T, where of course we know that the principal here is 180,000 shillings. The rate is 2%, that is 2 out of 100, and the time is 1 month. Remember, when you're dealing with compound interest, you calculate for each period, each time period. So we are looking at 1 month. So when we substitute, we shall have our interest as 3,600 shillings. That is for that first month. Then, now to get the new amount, it is going to be the principal plus the interest. So that is going to be the new amount, which is the principal plus the interest, and that is going to be 180,000 times, plus 3,600, and that is going to give us 183,600 shillings. Now this is going to become the new principal. This is going to be the new principal. And when in the second month, we are going to have the new principal is going to be 183,600 shillings, and then the rate remains the same. The time is going to be 1 month, but we are dealing with the second month now, but the time there is, the time duration is 1 month. So it is just, you consider one month, one year, like that. So when we substitute, we are going to get our new interest as 3,672 shillings. Now, the new amount is going to be the previous principal, which is 183,600, plus the interest for this second month. So we shall be having, when we add that, we shall have 187,272 shillings. Now, this is the new amount in the second month, and it is going to be the new principal when we are calculating for the third month. It's going to be the new principal when we want to the interest in the third month. So when you want to calculate the new interest, now we are considered now that we are now in the third month. We want to see the interest is going to pay in the third month. So we shall use interest is equal to P times R times T. Of course, the rate is out of 100. When we substitute, we are going to be having 207 times 2 out of 100 times 1. We consider only 1 month, but we are looking at the third month now. When we multiply, because the time duration is 1 month, so when we look at that, it's going to give us an interest of 3,745.44 shillings. Now, it means that the total amount on the third month is going to be got by adding this principal and then plus the amount, so plus the interest, and that will give us the new amount, and that will be 191,017.44 shillings. So that is the new amount in that by the end of the third month. This is will be the new amount. Now we can use this new amount as the new principal for the fourth month. Now for the fourth month, still we are going to do the same thing. The principal is going to be 191,017.44 shillings. The rate remains the same. The time is 1 month, but we are in the fourth month now. When we substitute in that formula, we shall have 3,820.35 shillings. Now this is the interest in the fourth month. This is the interest in the fourth month only, the fourth month. And if we want to get the new amount, it's going to be the principal plus the interest, and that will give us 194,837.79 shillings. Now that's the new amount in the 4th month, and it's going to be the principal, the new principal it's going to be the new principal in the 5th month. So we shall do the same thing. Interest is principal times rate times time. When you substitute, remember the interest we have, the principal we have, and we substitute that principal there, and then the rate, and then the time is 1 month, but we're in the 5th month. That is going to be, the interest in the 5th month is going to be 3,896.76 shillings. Now that is the interest in the 6th month. And we can get the new amount in the 6th month, which is the principal plus the interest. When we add the principal as the interest, we shall get 198,734.55 shillings. Now this new amount in the 5th month becomes the new principal for the 6th month. For the 6th month, let's look at the 6th month. For the 6th month, the principal is 198,734.55 shillings. The rate is 2. The time is 1 month, but we are in the 6th month. So when we substitute, the interest in the 6th month is going to be 3,974.69 shillings. And that is going to be the interest in the 6th month. So remember, the question wants us, they're asking that how much would she pay after 6 months if she pays all the amount at once. So we need to get the total interest. Now we shall get the interest for each of the months, and we add. We need to get the interest for each of the month, and we add. That is if we want the total interest. But in this case, in specific case, we want the amount at the final amount. So remember already, the amount in the 5th month was this, and this is the interest for the 6th month. So if you want to get the final amount, it's going to be the principal, this in that 6th month, plus the interest in that 6th month to get the final amount. So it's going to be, final amount is going to be the principal plus the interest, because we want the final amount. If we wanted the interest, we'd add all the interest for all the months. But now we want the final amount, so we shall just get this plus this, and that will give us 202,709.24 shillings. And that's how we can calculate for the amount there. If we want to get the interest, the compound interest, we add all the interest. But in this case, we wanted the amount, and that is how we get it. So that means that she would pay 202,709.24 shillings after the 6 months. Yeah, thank you so much for attending to this lesson. This was our last lesson for this business arithmetic. Remember, I said that there is what we call the business mathematics, where we shall still look at more things like the compound interest. We shall look at the formula. Using the formula, we shall also look at other things like depreciation, appreciation, taxation. So just remain alert anytime those videos will be available. Have a wonderful day. God bless you.